So, what if I told you that the key to unlocking a longer, healthier life for your dog, well, it isn't in some sterile vet's office. What if it's hiding in plain sight, right inside your own kitchen cabinet? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on some powerful, affordable foods that can absolutely transform your dog's health. The very secrets the multi-billion-dollar pet food industry probably hopes you never find out. And let's just start with the big question, right? This is probably why you're here. Could something as simple as a spoonful of this or a splash of that actually add 5 more vibrant, healthy years to your best friend's life? Well, the science and the real-world results are pointing to a resounding yes, and we're about to show you exactly how. Okay, let's just dive right into this, because this slide, it shows you the whole problem in a nutshell. So picture this. Your dog has some digestive issues, and your vet prescribes an $80 bag of special food. You look at the ingredients, and what's the main active one? Pumpkin. Meanwhile, a $3 can of pure pumpkin from any grocery store not only does the same job, but a lot of times it actually works better. It's crazy, right? So why the huge price difference? You're paying for marketing, you're paying for complex formulas with a bunch of fillers, and you're paying for vet markups. You're paying 27 times more for fancy packaging and stuff your dog might not even need. And that really brings us to our first big idea. I want you to start thinking of your kitchen as a kind of pantry pharmacy. Seriously. These aren't just food items, they are everyday miracles that you probably already have, just waiting to be unlocked. First up, the absolute king of gut health, canned pumpkin. And let me be super clear here, we are talking about 100% pure pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie filling. That stuff is loaded with sugar, which just feeds bad gut bacteria, and it's got spices like nutmeg, which can actually be toxic to dogs. Now check out the data on this, because this is wild. A really comprehensive study from veterinary nutritionists found that dogs who were suffering from chronic digestive upset saw a staggering 41% improvement in their stool quality and regularity in just 3 weeks. Now, that isn't some minor tweak. That's a dramatic, life-improving change from one simple ingredient. And here's the magic of how it works. Pumpkin is packed with 2 kinds of fiber, soluble and insoluble, which lets it regulate the gut perfectly. It can absorb excess water if your dog has diarrhea, and it can add bulk to help with constipation. It's like the perfect gut regulator. To get started, you just mix it into their food. But hey, a little pro tip, start with half the recommended dose for a few days, just to let their system get used to it. All right, next up in our pantry pharmacy is something I like to call liquid gold for your dog's joints, homemade bone broth. For any of you with senior dogs or even just really active pups, this is an absolute game changer. It can help them move with the freedom and comfort they really deserve. Just look at this chart. On the left, that little bar, that's the kind of modest result you'd get from a typical over-the-counter joint supplement. Now look at the bar on the right. That represents an astonishing 52% reduction in reported joint pain and stiffness in senior dogs who were given daily homemade bone broth. That is literally the difference between a painful limp and a happy trot to the door. Okay, so the crucial point here is that it must be homemade. The commercial broths you find in the store are basically sodium bombs, and they often have onion and garlic, which are toxic for dogs. But the process is so simple. You take some raw bones, beef marrow bones or chicken feet are great, cover them with water, add a little splash of apple cider vinegar to help pull out the minerals, and then just simmer it on low for at least 12, maybe even 24 hours. That long simmer is what breaks down the collagen and releases all those joint healing compounds like glucosamine. Then just freeze it in ice cube trays for perfect daily portions. Easy. All right, let's move on to our next section. Just as bone broth rebuilds from the inside out, our next set of foods act like nature's super boosters, targeting specific systems in the body with incredible precision and power. Let's talk about one of the most underrated superfoods on the entire planet, sardines. These little fish are just bursting with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically that powerhouse duo of EPA and DHA. You can think of these as potent, natural anti-inflammatories that just go to work cooling down inflammation all over your dog's body, from their skin to their joints. And the results really speak for themselves. Let's break this chart down. You see that huge 63% slice? That represents the visible improvement in coat shine and the reduction in that flaky, itchy skin. But the benefits you can't see are even more profound. They support brain health in puppies and seniors, they help with cardiovascular function, and those soft, edible bones are a fantastic source of calcium. Now, what you buy here is absolutely critical. You have to look for sardines that are wild-caught and packed in spring water, never, ever in oil or sauces, and with no salt added. Since they're low on the food chain, you don't really have to worry about mercury. Just a couple of times a week is plenty to deliver these incredible benefits. You can serve them whole or just mash them right into their food. They'll love it. Our final super booster is a true gut guardian, plain Greek yogurt. It works by introducing probiotics, live beneficial bacteria that act like a little security force for your dog's digestive tract. They crowd out the bad guys and strengthen their intestinal walls. And plain Greek yogurt is usually the best choice because it's higher in protein and lower in lactose, which can sometimes bother a dog's stomach. And of course, the science totally backs this up. In studies that monitor dogs with chronic gut issues like yeast overgrowth or loose stools, introducing daily probiotics led to a 44% reduction in symptoms. A healthy gut is the foundation for a strong immune system, and this is truly one of the easiest ways to build that foundation. And listen up, because this is a life or death warning. It must be plain and completely unsweetened. Never, ever use yogurts with artificial sweeteners, especially xylitol. Xylitol, which is sometimes called birch sugar, is extremely toxic to dogs. It can cause a rapid, fatal drop in blood sugar and complete liver failure. You have to check the label, always. This brings us to what might just be the most important section of this whole explainer. Look, this knowledge is incredibly empowering, but with that power comes a huge responsibility. So let's cover the 3 non-negotiable golden rules. You should probably memorize these. Rule 1, always plain. Your dog's system just isn't designed for salt, sugar, or spices, and things like onion and garlic are straight up toxic. Rule 2, remove all physical dangers. Cooked bones are brittle. They can splinter and cause catastrophic internal injury. And Rule 3, portion with care. Remember, these are powerful supplements, not meals. Too much of a good thing can cause digestive upset and throw their whole diet out of balance. I really want to linger on this for a second because it is that important. This quote mentions peanut butter, but the danger of xylitol extends to yogurts, baked goods, even some medications. You have to become a relentless label reader. Check every single time you buy a product because companies change their formulas without warning. A safe brand is one where the only ingredients are peanuts and maybe a little salt. Your diligence here isn't optional. It is literally life-saving. Okay, so let's bring all of this together. With this knowledge, you are graduating. You're no longer just a dog owner. You are an empowered health advocate for your dog. You now hold the keys. So here's the bottom line. Real whole foods have immense healing power. How you prepare them is absolutely everything. And a lot of the time, the simplest, cheapest option is actually the most effective one. But the most important takeaway of all is that you are your dog's #1 advocate. You have the power to make these small changes that will add up to a longer, happier life together. If this explainer has opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe to Canine Dog Talk. In our upcoming videos, we're going to be tackling the biggest myths about kibble and exploring some gentle, natural solutions for canine anxiety. You are not going to want to miss it. And that leaves us with one final and pretty exciting question. Armed with all this new knowledge, what's the very first secret you're going to share with your dog? Is it going to be a spoonful of pumpkin, a delicious frozen bone broth cube? Let us know in the comments below. We can't wait to hear about the journey you're starting today. Thanks for watching.